Good afternoon, welcome back to the Trentino region of Italy. We're in the legendary climbing town of Arco. We've got two semi-finals to bring you simultaneously today, female junior boulder and female youth A boulder. As you can see there, Bronwyn Carnis of Canada is over on the far left of the wall, and over far right is Jessica Fekanin of Slovakia. So the regulation 20 climbers, so we had 21 in the semi-final earlier on because of a tie in the qualifiers, but the regulation 20 on either side this time in the two semi-finals. 8 boulders for you to look at, so it'll be very busy. It'll feel like a World Cup semi-final with 2 categories, albeit not 2 genders like we see in the World Cups, but 2 categories competing simultaneously. Bronwyn Carnis just getting underway over on Junior 1. Charlie Bosco and Mike Langley here, as we have been all the way through the week, and we're in Hagioji. It's been a pretty exciting few weeks all told, and tomorrow we have the conclusion of it with 6 finals taking place, 3 speed finals and 3 boulder finals. But in order to win a place in those finals, these 40 climbers will have to go well, and as we do in the World Cup and World Championship, we're looking for 6 climbers to progress to the next round. Mike, as people might realise from your slightly heavy breathing, just made your way, scurried back from the wall. Yeah, it's a busy wall with 8 boulders on there.
That's not heavy breathing from eating too much pizza. That is just because I've run from the bouldering wall. It's a good 100 metres or so from here.
Combination of the two, really.
yeah. Well, in Arco and all that, you've got to eat a lot of pizza. Junior climbers go left to right. UFA women go right to left. Yeah, I'd say the junior climbers, we're going to see the climbers starting to come across the wall over the next sort of 20-25 minutes. But technical tour, lots of small screw-ons, and the route setters were just, I can't believe how close to the wire. There's still somebody on a ladder screwing a hold onto the wall, but they've had quite a bit of work ahead of them because it's super, super hot today. And they've just toned everything down a bit. And on the UFA women's, particularly as we see a first top early on, the route setters just toned down the level just a little bit, and the route setters are going to be a little bit nervous about that. It's always risky bringing down the level with such a short amount of time left. You're making high risk judgments in a very short amount of time, which is never a comfortable position to be in as a route setter. So we'll see. I mean, seeing the first climber out relatively just cruising up the boulder.
Yeah, Jessica Fekanin, she's got it done. I'm just waiting for the attempts to come through. We're kind of flitting back and forth between her and Bronwyn. Setting is always the hardest job in climbing. We know that. Add in the fact that they don't know the climbers as well at this youth level, and add in the fact they've just got so many boulders set and so little time to turn them around, means that if they feel like tweaking the level, if they think, oh, actually we should do this with the next round, they basically haven't got time to do it. They've got to set the boulders, and then beforehand, as Mike said, they've got a tiny amount of time to make any changes they might want to make. So it's a very difficult challenge for the route setters. There's no joy for Bronwyn on number 1.
Yeah, also your judgment starts to become clouded as you go through the competition. You get hotter and hotter as the day goes on. You get more and more tired as the championship goes on. It really starts to affect exactly kind of what you're doing out there. And yeah, it's a big team here, full of very experienced route setters. We're hoping to actually hear from one of them a bit later on in this stream. I'm going to go collar Anna, the Russian female route setter here. She's going to try and give us a bit of an insight into her job here. She's not the chief, but she's down as one of the route setters here and gaining very valuable experience. Great to see another female route setter out there working hard at the IFSC competitions. It's always so fascinating, the journey that route setters have to go on over championships.
Mattea Puzzi now begins climb. We saw her earlier on in the lead, earlier on in the championships, not earlier on today. And now finds herself on the boulder wall. I have to say, I think it's probably the hottest day we've had yet.
Yeah, I just asked one of the route setters actually, sort of saying Tomasz Zaleski from Poland. He was just filling up his water bottle at the station. I was desperately trying to get some water as well, just saying, is this the hottest? And he said, actually, when we were at route setting, it was a bit hotter than this. So yeah, they've been through it, the route setters, and this is what they expect before they sign up for this job. Arco, end of August. It's not known for being cold, that's for sure.
No, that is for sure. Literally cannot remember the last time I had a pair of trousers on. It's been shorts all the way for a long time, and is very much shorts weather today. Could be about to see a second top here. Yeah, there we have it. Michaela Smetanova of the Czech Republic finds a top. So already seems the route setters might slightly have underdone number one.
Yeah, if a boulder sees loads and loads of tops, then it almost becomes an irrelevant boulder in terms of the score. And it becomes relevant if you don't do it, obviously, but if we expect everybody to do it, then it comes down to a 3 boulder round. Same as if a boulder's too hard and nobody does it. The same results. That was quite interesting about the combined finals, if you saw any of that, the Olympic format. A 3 boulder round, and it just changed the dynamic of the event slightly, and it meant that the route setters had to get 3 boulders that really worked, because they couldn't afford kind of one boulder that nobody gets a score on or everybody gets a score on. And yeah, obviously in that championship the boulders were super hard and it didn't quite work, but it's interesting when you have a 3 boulder round compared to a 4 boulder round, and a 4 boulder round compared to a 5 boulder round. Mattia Putzi just trying to get established on that far right hand volumes. 2 really bad little screw-ons right at the back of that volume. It starts as firm catches and then slowly flip them into undercut sort of little finger wraps, really.
So, Mateo Putzi trying again on number 1. Quite the contrast between Youth A1 and Junior 1. Youth A1 getting topped by both the climbers so far.
So he's just squeezing these sort of 3 or 4 volumes on this boulder, all the same. Starting volume at right at the bottom of the wall, the 2 starting foot placements on it, black one in the middle, then 2 next to it, and just reminds me of where 2016 World Championships, when Jackie was describing very similar looking bottoms. Jackie got off one of the head route setters here as chips. So we've got a set of chips on this volume.
Pronounced chips.
Yeah. At the time we didn't have a clue what he was talking about. As most when Jackie's talking, it's always a fair level of interpretation needed. Such is enthusiasm for all of the boulders. There you can see the additional screw on one of those chips. I don't know if it was referring to sort of English chips like fish and chips, or chips as in potato chips.
I'm not sure Jackie knows what an English chip is, to be honest. Doesn't strike me as a man who likes his fish and chips. There we can see it. No tops so far over on female juniors. Emma Sturva-Vallerbach out next, and then Noah Shiran out next in juniors.
First good look at female boulder number 2 for the juniors. Starts with completely upside down Gaston for the right hand, dual texture, so it's no use at all for your fingers over the top of it. And a little rollover move to a good edge, but it's been blocked slightly just to make it a little bit worse, and then pop your left foot out. And good look at female A. Youth A boulder number 2, starting in this sort of almost a running jump into a toe catch, then a release into those 2 big pinches. Looks like we might have another top on women's boulder number 1 on the right. Just trying to get established, get the feet set just to get this top move.
Well, it seems strange to be saying it after 3 climbers, but you are going to need to get this one done, that's for sure. So, going to be a lot of tops coming, you suspect, over in the Youth A category. Noah closest to the camera. Bronwen over on the right on number 2 on the arrowheads. That looks familiar. We've seen that move a couple of times. I think it was on that panel of the wall as well, wasn't it? Slapping up for those 2 black volumes. Where did we see that yesterday? Was it day before yesterday? I've lost track.
Yeah, lost track. But yeah, the route sets have had 96 boulders to set for this World Championships.
Oh.
An extraordinary amount of work, and they've had to reuse, obviously, with that many boulders, quite a lot of different holds. So you can see that little jump over move on women's 2, junior 2, I should say. Yeah, the route sets had to reuse a lot of these volumes, and a lot of the holds themselves just almost dictate the move that you want to get out of that individual hold, actually. Like a certain style, big undercut. You know, these days it's just asking for somebody to hit it with a toe hook. It's been a quite popular move this championships as well, the palm down roll over. We're seeing there on junior female 2. Going for the full run into that starting position. This is one of the boulders that the route set has just toned down a little bit, just brought the holds in a little bit closer, because they were really worried. They didn't name names, but they're really worried one of the Japanese athletes is really small in this Youth A category, and they just didn't want it to be one of those sort of nightmare scenarios where she can't even reach the starting positions. Nice little move up to the left-hand volume here, just rips off the sloper.
Can't help thinking the heat's playing a factor there. Dark black volume. I know they're not on the sun, but they hang on to the heat even more. Let's get Bulanova now over on Youth A. Gets cracking. Her compatriot Michaela Smetanova comes out as well. And Daria Veretanina of Russia begins on number 1. You can see there left of your screen. And Matea Putzi gets going on number 2. You
can see that first rollover on junior boulder number 1, the thumb catch. That's what she's aiming for. Right hand into a thumb catch, so just fires up to that next blue chip. That's the zone. No thumb catches on that one though.
Oof, nearly clobbers the brusher. That would not have been good. Could be about to see another top here of number 1. Sadly not. It would seem very clear that you need to get this one done if you want to progress.
Yeah, unless you can pull something a bit special out the bag in the later boulders that someone else may struggle on. I do agree with that. See, just that junior boulder number 2 just firing over to that right-hand Gaston. If you hit it with a bit of straight arm, it's really hard to engage the left toe on that next lower volume. See the officials and the judges here in the full sun down the front.
Yeah, it really is brutally hot today.
Yeah, I have to say the athletes just seem to be dealing with it so well.
Oof, almost holds it that time.
Yeah, almost holds it without really engaging the foot.
Aliska Bullanova now trying again on number 1.
Easily up this time for Aliska Bullanova.
Yeah, needed that. Very clear. You're going to get left behind if you don't get this semi-final done.
Let's have another look at this jump over. She's really close to sticking that. For a moment there I thought she might be walking away, but does stick with it.
Oh, gets a hand on top. That was the beep as well to say 1 more minute left. Mattea Putzi.
Yeah, she's got the jump done at the bottom of the wall. Now established on the left hand up on the upper zone. There's a little finger wrap under there as well. Oh, hits that right hand. Can she finish this boulder off? Not completely over though. Mattea Putzi's digging in quite hard here. Now gets the foot out. Just searching for that top hole. Comes up a little bit short. She's just trying to stretch it out rather than commit to it. Does just stretch to it. Mattea Putzi finds a top.
So we're underway on the juniors. First Japanese climber out, Hana Kudo. There she is, closest to the camera, wearing 398, and over on the other side, Aliska Adamovska. Should be out, presumably will be out on Junior 1.
Hopefully we'll be able to have a really good look at boulder number 3 on both of these categories. Youth A boulder number 3 is just pure opposition between volumes up the groove. There's no handholds in addition to those volumes at all. That's a zone hold straight away on the right hand for the first climber out. It's just a jimmying upper groove boulder number 3. We've seen a few of those boulders actually today, just pure, not today, this championship, it's just pure volumes, up an angle change, upper groove.
Something so satisfying about them.
Yeah, they can be desperate until you find the right sequence of hand and foot placements. You know, it doesn't really require any pulling, it's just pushing. And when it comes together, it can be really easy. But if you can't find the right body positions, they can feel absolutely brutal.
Hannah Kudo up from with the jump out left on Youth A. Top for her. Going to need to do that one, that is absolutely certain. We've only had 5 climbers, we already know that. Emma Stova-Vollerbach now of Norway on number 2. Powerful boulder, this one. Lining it up for the top here. Finds it with the right hand. Can't bring the left to join it. Can't find a way through those volumes. Jessica. This is Bronwyn over on number 3. So, easy top there. Tops are coming thick and fast here. It feels on the whole in Arco that we've had not that many tops. But specifically in the semi-finals round. But today, they're beginning to come thick and fast. This number 3 does look hard though, exactly the same as number 3 we saw earlier in the men's Youth A semi-final. Was on this exact panel was a number 3 as well. Just so you know, Matteo Puzzi, the scores are a little delayed in coming through. Matteo Puzzi, top number 2, on a 9th attempt. Brilliant stuff. That's the end of that rotation. If you are just tuning in, welcome along. Female Youth A and female junior bouldering. We had the Youth B day before yesterday. It was all wrapped up. I won't give you the result in case you're not watching the live streams in order. Zoe Egley now, who had a really good performance earlier on in the week in the lead, and Selena Schäuble, who has looked good on the speed as well. So 2 interesting climbers make their way out onto the Arco stage. Zoe Egley can not finding a way on number 1. Already said you need to find a way on number 1, that's for sure. Oh, I've seen a lot of this. Hand on the top hold, not actually being converted into a top. Here's Zoe Egley. So easy top again on number 2. Again, do apologise. Let's get the admin out the way. First thing, we don't have a feed to the clock. I can only apologise. It's rather frustrating for us as well. But we don't have a feed to it, so that's life. What did Churchill say? Endure what can't be mended. I'm sure people have endured worse than not having access to the clock for an IFSC competition. And the next piece of admin is that the zone holds here in Arco are labelled bonus. We've got the old logos, but fear not. And the final thing to say is that we've got 3 semi-finals going on, female youth A and female junior as well. Back on for another go. Excuse me, pulls back on for another go. My headset just shifted. One hand on the top. This boulder is certainly not done at this stage though. And that's why. Michaela Smetanova knows exactly what she wants out of the brushes. Trying to tread your way between those volumes. It's treacherous enough when they're clean. So I think the route setters might be getting called on quite regularly for them. So Mattea Puzzi decides against further attempts. Number 4 still to come. Paige Boklashuk of Canada, next climber out, and Lucia Dorfel of Germany as well. This is Selina Schäuble running out of time.
Yeah, top's coming quite quickly on the junior female boulder number 2, but not so much on number 1 at the moment. Opposite story on the female A category on the other end of the wall, this end of the wall, right-hand end. Top's coming quick on boulder number 1, but nothing else on the balls apart from zones. And Akudo on number 2. Let's see what she makes of this section of black volumes, really statically through that bottom section. That move through that yellow section of volumes there, super awkward, really pushing or deciding how to hold that sloping long blue volume on top of the yellow volume there before crossing over to that pinch on female junior boulder number 3. Lots of big names, some of those of which in the female junior category especially are familiar on the regular IFSC tour. Think about Laura Agora, Holly Tutil, Eva Maria Hammermuller, Urska Rapusic from Slovenia, Valentina Guardo. Lots of very talented climbers still to come out. And some of those older category climbers we get to see kind of most of the events on the IFSC tour. Anna Kudo there, just from Japan, flying off that top move. Iliska Adamovska now finding another top on women's number 2, junior 2. That seems to be the boulder that needs to be done on that side of the wall. Boulder number 1 on the right and boulder number 2 on the left. They're the boulders that it looks like you need to find some action on. Zoe Egley there from Canada, just trying to get to grips with this first boulder out. I think it's almost a slightly nervy position when you can see that boulder number 1's getting done loads and loads, and the pressure's on you all of a sudden to come out and get it done quickly as well. And it's like a little head game right at the start of the competition, something you've really got to focus on. This is Paige, excuse me. Paige just pushing into the top now. There we go, nicely done. Paige Boklashuk gets it done in the end. Took her a few minutes, but dealt with the pressure well. Good start from the Canadian. Hanakudo again, that top hold there, one that's been changed just before this competition started. They added that yellow jib for a thumb catch, just to try and battle these hot conditions a little. Climber pushing to the top of female junior number 3 now. Another blocked slopey crimp at the top of the wall. Route setters have really enjoyed the slots at the top as the top holds here in this championships. Junior boulder number 1 is particularly hard. No gimme as they come out the door on the first boulder. Sometimes the route setters just introduce into a nice steady away boulder, but not on this round. As always, expect the semi-final round to be one of the hardest. Jessica's going really well here, female A, currently sitting in second position. First position, just as her zone for that boulder pops up. She's going to finish this competition with 1 top in 8 attempts and 3 zones, importantly, in 11. So interesting as this semi-final goes on. 20 climbers to go through these 4 boulders. See what 1 top and 3 zones gets you at the end of this round. Miriam Fogo, the first Italian out on the far right hand side of the screen on junior. I get my youth and my juniors and my female A's all over the place here at the moment. Just got to get another espresso on the go, I think. Yes, she is Miriam Fogo on youth A, boulder number 1. So many categories here this week as the semi-finals coming thick and fast. Let's see what the young Italian can make of this first boulder. Goes full gas over to the zone hold. It's like a gassed on screw on. It's quite well blocked up against the edge of the wall. They're right on the edge of that yellow volume. That needs a little bit of accuracy to get to. See Mattia Perzi on junior boulder number 4 there, right in the centre of the screen, currently sitting in 4th position. I feel like a couple of tops is going to be needed at least here. Mew just going to the wrong hold of the 2 that time, up with her right hand. Again, a blocker used in the overlapping hole just to try and reduce the quality of the screw-ons a little bit here. The route setters have taken away a few of the slopers, put a few more in-cut crimps in just to help deal with the temperatures, but have put a lot of more low percentage moves in just by blocking them a bit. Selena Schäuble looking for a top now again on junior number 2. That definitely looking like a boulder that's got to get done. All of the tops in this round so far coming on that second boulder. Maybe Daria can have something to say about that. She's looking close to the top of number 3. You can see the slot that she's going up to. There's a lot of chalk on the left-hand side of it. That was one of the boulder route sets we were working on right up to the last second here. Local MC working really hard to try and build up the crowd for the Italians' efforts. Michaela starting the big wrestle on the super volume, fiberglass volume, big fat pinches and slopers. Root says did tweak that one as well, just added an additional little left foot just to try and help them through that section of volume, so that's one that's definitely going to be affected by the heat. Luckily for a few people in the arena though, the sun has now dropped behind one of the famous Arco cliffs just in the background, so the temperature should start to drop throughout the rest of this round, which is a big relief for definitely the officials and the judges down the front of the wall, and the athletes will be pretty pleased too. See, it's take a little bit of time for that shade just to make its way across the venue now over the next hour or so. Dara Veretenia has been going really well on this third boulder. So many goes and been up to the top twice already. She's leading the round at the moment. Still just one top of 3 zones. Climbers across all of the boulders now. We get close to the end of this rotation. Another frustrated climber Evgenevia taking her score sheet and walking away from boulder number 1. Page back out on the stage in the far right. Second boulder for her now. And Luisa Emileva joins us. Plenty of Russians in this round, it's good to see. Three Russians in the female junior side of the field.
Tarkus going for that move out left. Needs to find a way on that one.
Let's go, Noah. Come on, Noah. So, Luisa Emileva from Russia, bullet number 2. Bullet number 1, Lucia Dorso, bullet number 2.
Could we see another top here?
Meanwhile, Anakudo is performing really well on bullet number 3 in crazy body position, and Lucia Darius has done his job, but let's stay with Anakudo.
So let's have. I'm just trying to keep up to date with just how many tops we've had on that boulder. By my count, 6. See the top 6 as they stand right now, not that it's necessarily particularly relevant. Page here trying out on number 2. He's holding the big swing. Junior's number 3 looking a little tamer than it did earlier on. Could we see a top here? Oh, went up with the right hand. Not able to stick it. I think you'll need to go slightly slightly slower than that. Here's Page on number 2. Again, probably rewards a patient approach. Yeah, you can see very hard of your slap, because the key to matching is to find the body position. Louisa Emma Lever, number 1. Eliska Adamovska, she's been here before. Can she come away with a different result? She cannot. Page will not find a way on number 2. Here's Valentina Aguado over on the left, Junior 1. A name worth keeping an eye on ahead of the Olympics, Valentina Aguado. Didn't secure a place in Hachioji, but has her eyes on the Pan Am Championship, possibly Toulouse as well, one of the very best South American all-rounders. Valentina Aguado already safely up to the zone. And progresses no further. Only becomes the 4th climber to get that zone. This is Selina Schäuble. Miriam Fogu now on number 2 for the Youth A. Looking pretty close. Went quite quickly. Oh, I don't think the judges can give her that one. She was certainly there a long time, but I don't think there was any point at which you could say she was in control. Valet just struggling on that move between the zone and the penultimate hold. You can see that Anastasia Evgeneva just on the left of your screen. Zoe Egley on the right. Miriam Fogu over to the side again. This is Aliska Bulanova we're looking at. Full stage here in Arco 8. Climbers out, including Selina Schäuble. So Valet, she's already been up to the zone, gets her again. As I say, if you are just tuning in, firstly, good afternoon, welcome back to Arco. Day 8 of the championships, and we've got 2 semi-finals going on for your female juniors and female youth A. But as you might have just seen, as we saw Valet go back for that zone, they are labelled bonus here. All sorts of speculation about whether Trump's trade war is responsible for the end of production of signs that say bonus on, or what it might be, but more likely they just got sent the wrong graphics when they were producing the discs.
Yeah, apparently there's no printing shops in northern Italy either for some new ones. You know, what you got, we might as well stick with them. You know, environmentally friendly and all that.
I can just imagine how that conversation went, having been to Arco a few times. Oh no, they say bonus on. Yeah,
bonus on.
It'll be no problem. It's great round here. Everything they take life seriously, not too seriously. Lovely balance. This is Uska Rapusic, who we've I just got ever so slightly confused her. She is marked on our sheets as wearing 455, and she was wearing 278, and I wondered if I was losing my mind. And it certainly is Uska Rapusic. This is Emily Phillips, off to a good start.
Yeah, just talking to the British team coaches just after the previous semi-final round this morning, saying this is their best championships to date. So Team GB particularly happy. They're looking to continue that reign of form. This is that super awkward boulder number 3 then. This is Paige on it, and yeah, no holds apart from the little jib on the top hold. It's just all volumes. Still the only top to come on this tour of 4 boulders for female Category A is on the first boulder. 1 top and 3 zones currently in the A category gets you first place. That super modern run and jump into the starting position. Arco's one of those climbers that we've seen all season, the IFSC and the senior level. Sometimes you have to sort of just double check your starting list when you see someone like that come out. Oh, she's still only in the juniors. So many competitions under her belt already, and great performances. Louisa Milova's just battling with this junior boulder number 2. She's just not quite happy with that left foot and the stand up. Oh, this is better now on boulder number 4, and it has been topped. Hana Kudo from Japan gets it done. You feel like at this stage in the competition, tops might start to come thick and fast. There she does get it top there, Louisa Milova. She needed that really. Only the second boulder to be topped in the youth A category. Hana Kudo gets it done. She has 1 top in 4 zones. Unfortunately, she didn't do the first boulder, which I think, looking back, she's going to be really disappointed with, considering how many tops that boulder's actually had. Has done a potentially harder boulder in number 4, but couldn't get the admin done on number 1. Having a closer look at that really nice push through and crossover to that set of pinched screw-ons on the lower parts of this volume here. You see Adolfo going quite well here, but this is the move we've seen a number of climbers go to, that really bad left hand and the letterbox crimp to finish. Pretty bad crimp, and it's been blocked. Those are up there just to stop anybody crimping the very top of the volume. It's really awkward stand up, quite hard to go in control. Let's see what she can do. That left hand she's got is absolutely terrible. So big effort there, comes down breathing hard. Erska coming away empty-handed there on boulder number 1 again. Over halfway through this semi-finals round, and no tops. Bit of a running into another climber there, Chloe Cosco. Lots going really nice and slowly across the youth A boulder number 1 here, just drilling the screw holes, just crimping them down. She's going to have to spring out of that position you would have thought. She's desperately trying to cross over. The route judges, well, somebody's just walking. They're not quite sure what the dude with the hat back to front and the sunnies is doing on the map. Didn't make it immediately clear to us what he was doing either. Super aesthetic looking set of volume based climbs you can see across the wall here, especially boulder number 2 and 3. this UFA category, as usual, just finds a quick top. Does get it done in the end. It's Hannah Kudo who's leading the way with 1 top and 4 zones. This bowler still untopped. This is junior bowler number 1. So his thumb catches are really wide if you've got smaller hands. Really hard to get anything out of. Huge chalk build up actually. Does a very wise thing there, just getting the brushes to move in. Selena Schäuble struggling also on, that was junior bowler number 4 just before we moved on. Valentina Guardo then couldn't find anything on number 1, but she's got a lot of promise in this category. It looks like she's going to be cruising through. Junior number 2. She's quite a short climber, just needs to find the right position to fire up to this top pole. She's got to commit to it now. It's a good kind of sloping crimp. There you go, you can see as it hit it, her right hand was in that half crimp straight away. Relia Guardo gets that one done, big smile on her face. And a roof. Can she go slowly to that top move? She can't. Even with that added screw on in there, it seems that you can't quite, at this stage in the competition anyway, find ability just to slow down that move to the top hold on that fiberglass boulder. This is a big fight here on the female junior number 4. Root setters keeping things really hard here in Arco. We thought that was really hard in the final we had early in the male UFA semi-final, but then final climber out comes and gets 4 tops. It's not over until it's over in these categories. It's just 1 top in both categories plus 4 zones that gets you currently in first position. Hannah Kudo, there, her score has now updated. I think that was a bit strange that her first top wasn't scored. This is looking better then. This could be our first top on boulder number 2. That'll do nicely. Jana Roof from Austria gets it done. Boulder number 2 has now been climbed. Moves straight up into second position. 10 attempts it took her on the first boulder, and 9 attempts on that one, so she's got 2 tops in 19 attempts. She's had a hard afternoon's work already, and she's only got 2 boulders under her belt. Yeah, Hannah Kudo. So I was just wondering why her score didn't come up. I had to assume that our scores were correct. It wasn't showing anything for her on the first boulder, but yeah, there's obviously been a slow update on that one, and Hannah Kudo from Japan in the Youth A boulders is at the top of the tree. We've had 2 tops and 4 zones. Emily Phillips, GB climbing then, starts on number 2. She did find a top on boulder number 1. Flashed it indeed. Emily went well in the leading this week as well. She's slowly becoming GB climbing's next big hope in the female category. Getting very good at all 3 disciplines. Interesting, she's going a lot more statically into that starting position. We've seen a number of the athletes now run and jump into that toe catch. She's just trying to spring it off the mats. Mats here really thick and very soft, so it makes it pulling into that starting position quite hard. And it looks like a little bit, the taller you are as well, the left toe is just a little bit bent. Nice top from Erska. As you'd expect, no troubles getting to the top, and Emily Phillips just spins off the top of the wall, instantly asks the brushes to move in. I think we're going to start to see quite a few more tops in this Youth A category. Boulders number 1 and 2 look very doable. It's going to come down to boulders 3 and 4. Vandermitkova from Slovakia just pushing into that groove, just making sure there was no mistakes up there. Another climber who went well in the Lead World Championships earlier in the week. Recovered well from that championships, and now back on the bouldering wall. Super awkward position. Boulder number 3. A lot of volume wrestling to be done in that groove. She's just searching around for the screw holes, just trying to find anything. And those volumes in these conditions, got to move fast between them. Really, it's because a slime fest very quickly on those volumes. Emily Phillips now. GB climbing. Let's see what she does. Does a nice little double tap between those two compression volumes. Let's see what body position she finds at the top this time. Easily had one hand on the top hole before. She's working quite hard there, really working the right foot. Does go fast, and this time that's big disappointment from Emily Phillips.
Oh, Lucia Dorfel's close there. Can't find a way. Interesting how these semi-finals are panning out. When they first started, I thought we might see top, but it's not quite turned out that way. Eva Maria Hammelmuller, the 14th climber out. Luce Duardi of France is also climbing, and quite rightly shows Chloe Koskoy there of the United States. She was on number 2 over on the junior side. Julia Lotz. Luce Duardi can't quite find a way, but she is climbing so well right now. Could be in here. We are in. Another top on number 2 over on the juniors. Yeah, they're coming thick and fast on that number 2, really. Eva Hammelmuller. Luce Duardi wants to be careful, actually. Could have had a climber landing on another one. There's Valentina Aguado. Anastasia Evgenia, the latest climber to struggle on number 4 over on the junior side. As you see Valentina Aguado again trying to fire out to the right. Maria Hammelmuller got that look we've seen quite a few times here in Arco. Have I missed something? Venue MC always switches to Italian when he's calling one of his compatriots to go well, and it's Miriam Fogu that time. She couldn't quite deliver what he and the crowd were hoping for. Time is up on that 5-minute rotation. Oskar Rapusic comes back out. I haven't figured out actually what the explanation for her bib number is. It matters not, I suppose. Camilla Moroni, the 15th climber, to get underway on the juniors side. Over on the youth A, Sienna Kopf of the United States just got climbing. Ayala Kerem of Israel, the other climber right in the middle there on the arrowheads. Normally no better than to make predictions, but a couple of tops might see you in over on the juniors side, and I think on the youth A it'll be pretty similar. We are having 1 or 2 issues with scores updating. I'm looking down to Jessica Fekinin of Slovakia, Zoe Egli. Their scores, for reasons unknown to me, are not updating. As we do see another top. Ayala Kerem gets it done. Gives the volume a little tap to say thank you for allowing my passage. And she will head backstage. Vanna Michalkova over on number 2. Right next to her good friend Sienna Kopf. How nice it works out, those two very good friends. Top for Sienna. Oscar Pussett shakes her head. She's not the first person to shake her head at that boulder. What can Vanda do on this second boulder?
Erskine now very close to the top of female number 3, and that's the same move that we've seen a number of times now. Just pushing towards the top but not being able to find the exact body position. Both number 3 is still untopped, as is number 1 and 4. Hard round here in the female junior category. Two climbers with 2 tops in this Youth A category. Emily Phillips, GB climber, you can see her on boulder number 3 at the moment, so disappointed not to top number 2. See how she gets on wrestling these volumes. She's going to be walking away from boulder number 3, unfortunately for Emily as well there. You can see the shade mostly over across the venue now, just the poor souls in the right hand corner under the umbrellas are the last remaining people with sunburn. See Natalia Grossman, Team USA, trying to get to grips with boulder number 1. Still no tops on that junior boulder number 1. Lucy Tuadi, you expect big things from her really in this round. She's done so well in the IFSC senior competitions this year. Costco desperately bunched up on that zone pinch. Conditions slowly improving here, a bit of a wind kicking up, which is just a welcome relief to the desperate humidity we've had. So with just 4 climbers still to come after Natalia Grossman. A lot of work to be done here on the junior boulders and on the Youth A boulders, to be fair, as to who can find tops. Route setters will be watching on nervously. They did tweak this round to be a little bit softer right up to the final few seconds here before these athletes came out onto the stage. In the junior category that we're seeing just here, it's Eliska Adamovsky from Czech Republic. It's 1 top and 4 zones currently leading the way. 1 top it is and plus 3 zones in 13 attempts that gets you into a place into the top 6 into the finals. wasn't Valentina Guardo there. This is Luz Duardi then. Going really well on this tour of Boulder so far. Second Boulder can we see a top here. Just see how bad that sloper is. That thumb catch underneath just seems to be slightly the wrong angle. Doesn't seem to be able to quite really find the right body position or the hand position. I'm not quite sure what it is to find that thumb catch. There's Valentina Guardo. That's better for her, flipping that undercut, a whole bunch of screw-ons on that 2 triangular volumes. How brutal this round is. A lot of climbers standing on the mat, shaking their heads, puffing their cheeks, hands on hips. All the other signs of body language, it makes you think it's a really hard move. Luz Duardi trying to pull back into that starting position. Now then, Luz Duardi, can she find a top here? Again, just fires off that top move. Anna Ralph has found a top on that boulder. Only one to do so. She's currently in 2nd place. 2 tops in 19 attempts. 3 zones in 20 attempts. Took her a lot of work. She's still got 1 boulder to come. Natsumi Hirano then had to jump into that starting hold. Looks like a long jump across the wall all of a sudden for her. Let's see if Lucille from France can make anything of this bad left foot hold. I think these chip volumes are so wide that the climbers really can't squeeze them and load the feet. Such a brutal set of boulders here in the semi-final round.
Yeah, we really didn't. I don't know why anyone.
Is this another prediction coming?
I don't know why anyone's surprised. We really didn't read this one correctly. I think we just saw number 1 getting topped a lot as it's getting topped again by Natsumi Hirano, and just thought, oh, they've slightly undercooked these ones. As it turns out, they've undercooked number 1 and maintained the others at the brick hard level they've been most of the week.
Yeah, super tough tour. Still got time to find tops on other boulders though.
Camilla Moroni.
Yeah, just head flick back as she went into that first right-hand sloping crib. See how bad it is. Just coming up short on that at the moment. There is a good bit right at the back of that. Maybe she hasn't seen it. It's just on the sloping dish element of it in the middle. Goes a little bit further with the right hand. Can she just get a bit more out of this? Got to commit to just going a little bit further. Oh no! Heartbreaker as she completely committed to the bad bit of that sloping top hold. Sometimes does prove you've got to know your holds. A lot of climbers out there will know the shape of that hold. There's a couple of holds, all of that same, it's very similar design, but there's the full spectrum of really bad to really good, and that is the good one. See exactly what Lucille's up against there. Left foot, look how bad that is. You can see the heel just shaking, knee shaking as well. just trying to crimp the screw holes, trying to use every trick in the book to get something out of female junior Boulder number 1. Erskine just fully wrestling this Boulder number 4. Should be the first one to find a top. She's currently in 4th place. This is looking really good, matching the penultimate hold now. Foothold's in a really good position. She's really fighting, crimping really hard, just trying to get the body position now. Pushing towards the top hold, just hits it on the really bad bit. Now relaxes, it's a top on female junior Boulder number 4. It's Erskine Rupusic, the legendary Slovenian team. Turns out hanging out with Janja Garnbret every week doesn't do you climbing too much harm. There we go as well.
Hasn't worked for me. Top for Carilla Maroney.
Yeah, that time she fully committed to the good crimp at the back. And Emily Phillips, GB climbing now, just trying to hit the double tap.
We might have some climbing royalty joining us now in the commentary box. Very pleased to say we've got a visitor. Made the mistake of saying on social media you were here, Hannah Schubert, so I thought, right, I'll text you and see if you want to come and say hi.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying the comp?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's been really hot to watch, so I can only imagine how hot it's gonna be to climb. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's always nice to have a look at the youth, and they're really impressive. I'm already getting scared. But that's nothing new. I mean, in this category, we have to say I know some of the people already from World Cups or youth comps that I've watched, so it's nothing completely new. I mean, we've just seen Luz Duetti, and she was already in the World Cup final, so nothing new.
Yeah, exactly. Holly Tootill of Great Britain is underway, and Sarah Kate Ashton of the USA as well. And we didn't see you in Hachioji, but how's training been going for the remaining World Cups for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Like, it was nice to take a step back from comps and just like concentrate on training for a while. I felt like the first 3 World Cups just came a bit too soon for me, and I needed more training to get ready. So yeah, I think it was the right decision, and looking forward to the next World Cup now.
It must have been pretty good to watch the World Championships in the Schubert household.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything he didn't win a medal in?
Yeah.
Speed, he didn't win a medal.
Yeah.
It's about the only thing.
Yeah, that we were really disappointed about that.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing we didn't watch, to be honest. Like, not in the whole group. But yeah, there was a group of people gathering around the TV and watching Jakob in every final. And it was amazing. Like, it was really impressive to watch, and yeah, we couldn't be more happy.
Yes, of course, he's going to the Olympics. And what do you make of these boulders? We see another top here on number 1. It seems like that one over to the right, Youth A1, maybe a little bit too easy, but the rest, and maybe number 2 for the juniors, but everything else looks hard.
It looks really hard. Actually, it's always hard to say when the first climber comes out. I first thought the second one of the juniors looked pretty hard too, but then most of the girls got along with it pretty well. But yeah, the first one, just like the only one I got even close was Camilla Moroni, which didn't have time anymore. These pinches on the first one looked just really bad. And the third one, yeah, the last move still didn't, like anyone didn't have any chance on it. And in general, it looks really hard. Like, a lot of people on the Youth A get really high up, but then the end is really hard.
It seems to me like one thing the setters could really use is a climber like you, who's not that far from this age group, to come down and check the boulders. Is that something you've heard of climbers doing, or you'd be interested in?
Yeah, actually I think it's a good idea if route setters use that as well. I just know that, like, when we had the European Open this year in Innsbruck, some retired climbers, I would say, tried some of the blocks, and I think that was really good for the route setters because there's still climbers that like stopped competing last year or a year before and are still on a really high level. So I think that's really useful to get an idea. And yeah, I think it's actually a really good idea that route setters maybe pick people that will climb in the same grade, and also maybe the size makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's quite hard for
a tall guy to
a
set
tall
for
guy,
girls. Yeah.
exactly, to set for Youth B women.
Yeah.
I feel on the whole they've done pretty well, but you can just see that we kind of get some boulders that are a bit too easy, and then some that are just a bit too hard. It's really difficult for them to find the level. But
I can also imagine that these two boulders we just seen there, you've the second one and the third one, it's basically just volumes.
yeah,
So in this heat it might get really slippery and the friction might be really bad now.
yeah. It's we're always talking about how hard it is for the setters, but it's never harder than in youth climbing competitions.
Yeah, definitely.
And when are we seeing you back in action?
Tomorrow at the Dua here in Arco, but not in live stream though. Yeah, in Cran.
Okay.
The World Cup in Cran. Yeah. Really excited to go back there after having such a good experience last year.
I was wondering how long it would take before you mentioned last year.
Yeah, I was like, but if I don't mention it, probably you.
Yeah, I would have. Don't worry, I would have mentioned it. I would have mentioned it. You picked up a medal there. But training's going well. You're starting to feel pretty close to top shape, or still a bit of work to do?
Yeah, still a bit of work to do. I think it's hard when the start of the year didn't work so well. So when your base is not so good, it's really hard to build on that. So I think when you didn't have a really good start in the year and in training, it's really hard to catch that up in the rest of the year. But I think I can get to a decent level, which is okay for the rest of the season. But I'm also already looking forward to get straight back to training for next year and then make everything better next year.
What's the goal for you? Are you thinking any specific goals, or just train and see where you get to?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that yet so much because it's still a long way. But yeah, I mean, of course, I want to try to also compete in maybe in some bouldering World Cups to get the experience. And yeah, I think I still have to work a lot on my bouldering skills, just because my jumping skills and slap skills are still not so good. And with the style nowadays, that's maybe one of the most important things now. So I think I have to put a lot of work into that to be able to compete in World Cups.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you coming over. Hopefully you'll learn the lesson that you should never sort of let me know that you're here, because otherwise you get dragged over.
The problem is probably I should have never... You should have never known that I love talking so much, as much as you do.
Exactly. No, but it's always great to have you on, and always nice to hear how things are going. So good luck with training for the rest of the year. Enjoy the comp, and for anyone who's in the Arco region and would like to see, it's both the Schuberts in action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, both the I know there's an army of Schuberts in Innsbruck, but it's both the
climbing
Schuberts in action tomorrow night. You'll be able to come and see him in Innsbruck. But Hannah, yeah, really appreciate you coming over. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll get a gelato afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
Sienna Kopf and Van der Michel over there. For Saki Kikuchi and Flavi Koho got underway while we were chatting to Hannah. Apologies, we sort of don't quite follow the action when we get a guest, but when you can get a World Cup medalist walking past your commentary box, you've got to grab him for a word, haven't you? Van der Michel Kova now and Sienna Kopf climbing right next to each other. Van der on her last boulder.
Good to hear from Hannah Schubert there.
Yeah, it's always it's always good to hear from Hannah. She just makes me laugh every time. 'Cause she's so happy to admit that she just loves talking. She really is lost. I mean, she's a great climber, World Cup medalist, as I say, but there's got to be some role in the world of chatting. Also bakes a mean cake. If you climb at the Innsbruck wall, there's a reasonable chance that your cake you can buy at reception might have been baked by Hannah Schubert. She does provide them with cakes. Yeah, a mean baker, excellent climber, and very, very good at commentating. So quite a talented. It's easy to be jealous of some people. That's all I'm saying.
The hard element of this round definitely continues, hasn't eased off. We haven't seen a blizzard of tops all of a sudden, unfortunately. Boulder number 3 still untopped in the women's category. Only one top on this one, Boulder number 4.
Kind of feel like we should stop making predictions about round. Well, I should have learned that years ago. Van der again trying that double slap.
Yeah, that left-hand hold was actually brought down a little bit. You can actually see the marks on the wall there. It's about 2 inches lower than the actual mark itself. So the route setters have eased that one off a little bit, and it's only seen one top. So
presumably,
really
yeah.
round.
I was about to say bringing it down would make it easier. It didn't improve the body position. Having it higher, it did make it easier. Bringing it down, must have done.
Yeah, I think it would. If you were looking for that sort of double clutch move, then yeah, bringing it down a bit would have made it a bit easier. Another climber flying towards the top of junior boulder number 3, and that's definitely not a hold you can fly to. It's a really, really bad overlapping crimp. It's got a crimp with a lid on top. Sienna having a really good battle with boulder number 3. She's really been using the screw holes. You can see her walking away, look at her fingernails. Time just runs out on this round.
Nye Mignon comes out. Last climber to get underway on Youth A Boulder. Laura Rigora, who's already won the lead title in the juniors, gets her Boulder semi-final started, qualified in first, hence climbs last. Same is true, obviously, of Nye Mignon.
It's actually a really committing first move that on female Youth A Boulder number 1. It's quite a long way. They got really chucked for that sort of block screw on. There we are, Nye Mignon from France. Yeah, it's surprising how many tops we've had on that boulder, really, just how quickly Pete would have got a jump to the zone hold. This is looking really good. All of a sudden, Laura Rigora making boulder number 1 look very possible. The lead world champion, youth world champion, Laura Rigora.
Oh, what a start for her.
Boulder.
It just looks like she can't quite believe it herself. Laura Rigora is absolutely flying here in Arco. Home pressure? What home pressure? Seems to always climb well in Italy. She made the finals here in Arco and a lead World Cup as well.
Yeah, first top of that junior number 1 and just absolutely cruised it.
This is Nye Mignon, who should get the job done on number 1.
I think the French team have got a superb junior setup. We've got lots of big performances here. There you can see the top hold, upside down edge with 2 screw-ons on top of it. Top here as well on women's number 3. All of a sudden we were talking about blizzards of tops, and now it starts to come.
Yeah, Natalia Grossman finds the top. Excellent work from her.
Yeah, all boulders on that junior side. Gone from 2 of them needing tops to all 4 being top now.
Third attempt, she got that. She also got the second one done on her first attempt. Natalia Grossen flying here.
Here's Luce Tuardi, big fight here at the end of her round. This boulder's only been top once, this could be twice now. Top holds a good one, confident, moves 2 hands to the top for Luce Tuardi. She really needed that as well, she was down in 7th. Let's see where that leaves her. 2nd, 2 tops in 7 attempts, 4 zones in 13 attempts. 2 tops gets you into the top 3 at the moment in that Youth A category. Early bar set quite high by Hannah Kudo, which banned 2 tops and 4 zones for her. Set way back in this round. We saw that in the male Youth A category as well, semi-final there. Final climber out. It was Ray, and Japanese team, had to find a tops on some of the boulders, and he went through it, last climber out, topped the boulder. Laura Rigora doing exactly the same. Yeah, it's been a hard semi-final round, but enjoyable so far. Fair amount of action coming on all different elements of the wall. Boulder number 3 now. The only climb of this set of 8 boulders, 2 categories here, not to have been topped yet.
They're coming thick and fast now. Climbers are delivering tops all round.
Just a little information from down the front of the boulder winners down there earlier. Anna Galimova, one of the female route setters here, was in charge of this female Youth A category. Watched very carefully by Jackie Godoff as the really experienced member of this team. He was the head route setter for that category, and he really let Anna kind of have the say over the boulders here. And they had apparently between them they had a really long debate about boulder number 3 here in the women's category. Jackie said it wouldn't be done, and she said, I think it will be done. So Jackie trusted her on this one, and let's see what happens.
What does Jackie Godoff know about route setting? Makes me feel so much better when Jackie Godoff's getting his predictions wrong.
Well, he's got it right at the moment.
Well,
let's see if a couple of climbers still to go on that boulder.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Junior 3.
No.
Oh no, Jackie is right. Oh.
Never question Jackie. Here we go. This could prove that whole conversation completely wrong. Who's right between the route setters? It's good to see they have a debate as well. Jackie Godoff could be wrong, maybe for the first time ever. Natsuki Hirano gets the top. All boulders now topped.
If I'd just waited 30 seconds, that conversation would have made a lot more sense.
There was a reason I timed that bit of information until that moment.
I like the top on that number 2. It makes it's not a gimme.
Well, yeah, it's just the way that thumb catch has been positioned. The speed they're going up to it, they can't even get the thumb anywhere near the hole. They're hitting it as a pure sloper. Unless you can jump at it with your thumb poised and ready to pinch, it's not going to work, that thumb catch. That's only been topped once, that one with the pinchy black volumes. Plenty of tops on this junior boulder number 2 though. Committed her right foot across really early there. Navicore went for the sort of coordination move, that top pole jump for the right hand, tried to flip the left hand. We've seen others go a bit more statically. Saki Kikuchi then, can she be the second climber to top this pinchy, slopey boulder? Let's see what her body position is for this top move. Can she go a bit slower up with that right hand? Doesn't look too happy on the right. It's going to go left hand with the left heel. That's better. Oh, you can see how bad that hold is. Had a full heel hook on and still couldn't control it. Oh, that's unlucky there for Camille Moroney. So frustrating when you have a huge battle on the boulder with time running down to have a big slip at the top of the wall. top there. You can just see her going through the routine for that Youth A boulder number 4. Straight back on for another go. This time,
this time she gets it done.
Gets the left-hand undercut before going to the final hold that time. Tries the right heel this time. That looks much better. Establishes on the thumb catch. Saki Kikuchi gets it done. Second top on female boulder number 2. Youth A boulder number 2. My woes of these categories continues. Maroney, this time, can she get the right foot to stick? Just smearing it on the nose of the volume at the moment. It's a really sloping dish, that one that she's matched at the top. Now just pushes towards the top. Camilla Maroney gets it done, big celebration. She is currently leading the way, a superb round for the Italian. 2 tops in 10 attempts for her. 4 zones is the important number there though. 2 tops, 4 zones, attempts really probably going to be irrelevant. Camille Maroney now goes back into the isolation zone and waits for the final tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got both finals for these categories, we should say, coming up tomorrow. So we're actually done with the first boulders. As Nye Mignon and Laura Agora come back out. God, Natalia Grossman's having a great day, look at that. Already into second place. She hasn't even really had a look at this 4th boulder, albeit she's on it now. Just look at that female Youth A, everybody did boulder 1. It's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, normally you expect somebody not to get on with a big jump like that, but it proves that even at this Youth A level that they're so familiar and so comfortable on the big jumps. Everybody doing it. It's quite nice in many ways, just so you can say that you topped a boulder in the semi-final of the Youth World Championships. I'll remember that feeling, that time when I topped the boulder in Arco. Absolutely brilliant feeling. Natalia Grossman just short of the left foot, hasn't quite seen it or can't quite see it from that position. Here's Nye Mignon, last climber out. Oh, look at that, just fires up to that top pinch off the right toe. Absolutely smashed that boulder. Nye Mignon, that boulder's now seen 3 tops. Straight underneath, just hammered it to that top hole, didn't need any heel hooks.
You're wasting no time.
Natalia Grossman from USA with the zone on the final boulder does move above Camilla Maroney from Italy in the junior category into the 1st place. Laura Agora now gets a little jump down across the bottom. There she is. There's the graphic we're looking for. Laura Agora, the only climber to top boulder number 1. known for being very happy on the small edges. Let's see if she can just bring her left foot. She just wants to smear it on the left side of that volume. There she goes. Now it's into that bridge position, just got to commit to that final hold. Does fully commit to the crimp on the edge of the volume there. Now Rigor sorted on that boulder.
No doubt who's the dominant climber in this female juniors. Laura Rigora just laying waste to everything right now. Already won the lead title.
18th to 4th with that top.
Wow, she could seal her place in the final before she even gets onto the third boulder.
Holly Tutu as well. If she can find the top here, she'll be in a superb position. Oh, really quick up to the right-hand top slot. Holly Tutu, British champion in bouldering in the senior level. Just gives you an idea of how good these juniors are. And a lot of people are expecting big things of Holly. Looks like Natalia Grossman could really cement her position at the top of the leaderboard with another top here if she can just find this next move. Foot slips again.
Really struggling to keep that foot in place.
Yeah, I think it's quite blind underneath the volume, so it's quite hard to see exactly where to place it perfectly. It's just blocked by that sort of arrowhead black volumes. Holly Tutu in the far distance here flying around on this big crossover move. Brutal semi-final round here, a really good test, but these climbers do have a rest until tomorrow. Their final won't be coming later on. This is the last action of the day here in Arco. They'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Oh, Natalia Grossman just kind of levered back off the wall there.
Yeah, she's looking really powered out now. She just what takes her towel, walks away. A round well done for her. Currently sitting in first place. 2 tops and 4 zones.
Yeah, not much wrong with that round, really.
France side by side now. Wearing 784, 785. French side by side and Japanese side by side. Let's see if any of their positivity can rub off on each other and find 2, maybe 4 tops here. This is looking really good. Taki Kikuchi. Lucille, there's that bad left foot. I think in that position when she had her first right hand up, you can't actually see the foothold. It's just a really bad hold. Boulder number 3, then only been topped once by a compatriot, Natsumi Hirano. I can see she was just bringing her right foot up, just lifting the heel. As she lifted it to try and move her left palm out to that far left volume. Foot slipped off the volume. These volume climbs, it's really about getting maximum amount of rubber pushed through the feet as possible, and any lifting of the heels is really risky. Flavy almost campusing around there, just kicking the wall, flicking up. Starting to look tired now.
There we go, Japan and Japan side by side. Natsumi Hirano on the left finds the top.
She's going so well here.
Oh, she's kicking down the door to a place in the finals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll put her into first place. 3 tops for Natsumi.
Yeah, Saki Kikuchi as well here. I think could well be joining her.
Yeah, Saki's already topped the first 2, so this could be first climber to get into the 4th bowl with 3 tops. There you go. Japanese going really well here. Natsumi Hirano, top of the list, and as soon as I update, Saki Kikuchi overtakes her. Japan 1, 2, 3 here in the Youth A category on the right hand side of the wall. Luz Tuadi, first climber, back in the changing rooms in 4th place.
Lucille Sorel about to end her rotation on number 4, just giving it a quick clean. Beep sounds to say you've got 1 minute to go before your semi-final concludes.
It's been a hard round, but from a route setting perspective, you'd say it's probably gone quite well. All boulders have now been topped, really getting the separation that they need going through to a finals. The semi-final round, it really is key, no matter how hard it is to get that separation. Don't really want big ties going into the finals. It's got to be a brutal round, really. That's what the climbers expect when they come out as well. But a good set of moves as well, really entertaining moves, quite showy. Importantly, really getting the job done. Lucille and Flavi still on the wall, looking tired now, getting close to the end of their semi-finals. Buzzer does sound that ends that rotation. Now Rigora's back now on board number 3. Now Rigora, I have to say, there's so much pressure on her as an Italian here, local MCs. They really ramp up the noise when it comes to the Italians on the wall. She's putting up with the pressure really well. She won the Junior World Championships in lead already just a few days ago. Now out here performing again in the boulders and just seems to just focus on the climbing, doesn't let anything get to her. And she makes this little jump over move, really cool move here. Big lean out the corner and a jump into the crossovers. Crossover with the left hand. Now we've got a final climber out on this 3rd boulder. Naya Magnon. She is also the final climber out. 20 climbers in both the junior and youth A category. Had 21 climbers earlier in the male youth A semi-final. Naya Magnon really up and in this groove. Oh, slides down the volumes. Felt that one.
Naya Magnon is climbing over on number 3 for the Youth A. Here's Laura Rigora. No doubt she's been the strongest climber here amongst the juniors. Chalked up to go again, Naya Magnon into this 3rd boulder, which is repelled most people who've attempted it. Not everybody. Had a couple of tops now. If she could do it, she would have 3 tops, but she cannot find a way just yet. Mignon trying to get it done. Proving easy at all. I wonder if she might just call that a day. Looking up slightly nonplussed. Holly Toothill on number 4 again. No shortage of scrap. Sarah Kate Ashton here on Youth A4. So we're actually down to 1 climber from each category on the wall.
Good close up of the starting volume there of Yufei Boulder number 4. Saki, the second to last climber we're going to see on this boulder. She is going so well here in the semi-final round. That little blue foot, oh, the additional screw on that was an added hold at the right at the death just before this round started. Goes for the double. Very powerful way of doing it. That was the method that the route setters really expected. A closer look at the starting positions for Flavie as well on the junior boulder number 4. See how bad that pinch is on the next volume, looking absolutely drained now.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's quite hard for the climbers to escape the heat here actually. They've got sort of these gazebos around the back of the bouldering wall that's, you know, there's no aircon units or fans or anything back there. They just kind of got to battle through the round and then just go straight to the ice packs somewhere in the shade, or quickly jump in the river, one of the two.
Saki Kikuchi's looking pretty handy here on number 4.
Yeah, she's getting through that lower section so easily. Look at that, she's going statically up to that left-hand volume. There's not really much on that side, so she may have to commit to going quickly.
I mean, she's actually already into the final. Doesn't need to destroy her shoulder any further by jabbing it out to the right like that. Flavie Koh, meanwhile, over on number 4 for the juniors.
That's better. Oh, just this hit actually does look absolutely finished, to be honest with you. She hit that pinch quite well that time. Let's see if Saki Kiguchi can find something slightly different this time. Exactly where she was before. This time does the double.
That's power for you.
Nicely done.
It gives the ball again. Gives it. Why not just match it? Gives it a little tap. But just match it. Look at the judge. Say you're okay with that? Everything all right? Yeah, great. All right. Now I'll let go. Anyway.
We do get some climbers who really turn and look at the judge, wait for them to put their arm in the air and say okay. And others
I would
just smash it and give it the backflip off the top.
I would recommend the first option personally.
One day someone will do a backflip off the top move to celebrate.
God, who was it who did a backflip in Briançon when I was talking to him? I said something about have you got any skills? He just did a standing on the ground, just backflipped and landed back on his feet. I couldn't believe it. Nearly kicked me in the face.
I've seen Tomoa Narasaki actually on his Instagram has a backflip off the wall, but yet to be seen in a World Championship sort of final.
Tomoa, if you're listening to this, man,
that's what we want to see next time you win a World Championship gold medal. Backflip off the top. You've not won until you've done a backflip, I don't reckon. Anyway, we rattle on. The last climbers are coming out.
We're just riffing, Mike. We're just riffing. Nai Mignon and Laura Rigora, the last climbers out. Just looking at where they stand right now, both into the final. We're still waiting. Actually, Jana Raut's score from Austria does not appear to be updating. It's not displaying on the screen, but the numbers are right. Mike, I don't know how the route setters do this. You might be able to provide some insight, being a route setter yourself. Once again, in Youth A, 2 tops you're in the final, less than 2 tops you're not. Amazing judgment.
I think the route setters, they know the athletes really well, especially in these older categories, but to be fair, there is an element of luck, and I'm sure most route setters wouldn't mind admitting that a round of boulders, they put so much work and effort, blood, sweat and tears, but you still do need a slice of luck at the end. And when you get results like that, clean split, then I would say that's 70% judgment, 30% luck. Now Rigora looking relatively solid on that left foot. She does just adjust it, just bumps it a little bit, just to try and drill it a little bit. Now Rigora's so small that she has to wrap her laces all the way around the back of the shoes and back over on themselves.
This would make her 3 tops, this would put her into the lead for the semi-final. Could come in if there's any count back required.
Hard to wipe that smile off her face. She's absolutely flying here, Laura Rigora, straight into the top spot. 3 tops and 3 zones in 8 attempts respectively. That's the end of the tour for Laura.
Nai Mignon could well finish with a top in addition. That move suddenly looks very hard when you've got a slightly sore right shoulder and you're a bit tired as well. Laura Rigora, by the way, only climbed with 3 tops over on the female juniors. I have to say, look, to me, they're the favourite for the boulder to complete the double. Could she do an Oriane Berthaud, as we call it? Or a Yanya? Doesn't seem out of the question.
Emily Phillips from GB Climbing is going to be the most disappointed person in that field, unfortunately. She's in 7th position.
Yeah, started well as well. Flash number 1. It was actually... It's amazing. Everybody did number 1, and Emily Phillips was the only person to flash it. Quite extraordinary boulder, really, that it it's possible for everyone in 5 minutes, and only one person can flash it. What are the chances?
Yeah, there's a few interesting storylines for this round, really. Emily was so close on Boulder number 2, as were a lot of climbers on that last hold. No, Mignon, the final climber in the last minute or so of her time in this female junior and female youth A semi-final. Another great job from the route setting team. 4 tops it is in the youth A category as the winner of this round. 3 tops, Laura Gore. All boulders have been done. Such a physical 4th boulder, this one, really working these fiberglass volumes. Super 3D as well. Opting to do that sequence off a knee bar. Route setters were kind of thinking you'd be heel hooking out on the right for that. No, Mignon, big compression move there. Looks like she's going in for a further go. Looking really trashed now. She's already in 3rd, doesn't need to do this.
I guess it's the chances of countdown being a factor are relatively slim in a boulder competition, but 2nd to 3rd.
Yeah, she's probably unaware of the scores as well. This time she does bail halfway through the attempt. With just 2 tops, she might be slightly disappointed in many ways until she sees the scoreboard. 3rd at the end of that thoroughly enjoyable Youth A semi-final.
And there you can see it, Laura Agora, no doubt about who the strongest climber on the day was. It took 3 tops. Couldn't find anything, interestingly enough, on number 3, which most climbers got at least a zone on. It was Natalia Grossman who found a top on it, and she joins Laura in the final. Italy will have 2 representatives as well, because Camilla Moroni will be there, and so will Slovenia's Urska Rapusic, France's Lucille Sorel, and Germany's Lucia Dorfel, Aliska Adamovska and Holly Toothill, the 2 climbers close but no cigar. Ditto Daria Veretnina, and Matteo Putsin. That's the lower order. So everybody down to Bronwen Carney claiming a top. See there, again, no doubt who the strongest climber was in Youth A. It's going to be a pretty fierce battle. There are 3 Japanese, 2 French and an Austrian. Saki Kikuchi, Natsumi Hirano, Nai Mignon, Hana Kudo, Luce Duardi, Iana Rout in 6th makes it through, and Emily Phillips, as Mike said, will be probably the most disappointed woman in Arco today, ends up 7th. Sienna Kopf, Julia Lotz and Vanda Michal cover the rest of the top 10, and there you can see bit lower down the order, everybody finding a top on number 1. Emily Phillips, the only climber to flash it, but 1 top for most of the climbers over on Youth B. It was a tough round with a deceptively easy start. So that is all from us today here in Arco, but fear not, awful lot of action coming your way tomorrow. No less than 3 boulder finals. They're the 3 categories we saw today in the semi-finals. We've got the 3 finals tomorrow and 3 speed finals as well. Look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.